Hey, what's going on? This is Tariq Nasheed. I'm out here at the Hidden History Museum here in Los Angeles, and I want to invite you to the September Soul Saturday event that we're having here at the Hidden History Museum. We're going to have a lot of phenomenal comedians. We're going to have complimentary food, complimentary drinks, great music, great mingling, great networking. So I want to see you here. Join me here, 2131 West Jefferson Boulevard in Los Angeles, September 14th, 2024, 7 p.m. Come on and vibe out. For more information and to get your tickets, go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com. We'll see you here. You see, and we're looking at the trick bag language in that. And look, we got some of the Democrat Shills up in here now. CJ Productions, because the Democrats always send you to troll under my comments. You're in here now. Why don't you get up and speak? I'm inviting you to get up now. You're one of the main ones. You up there got a picture of you with Kamala. CJ, this is a major Democratic shield. I've invited you to come on up. Come on up and say what you got to say and represent your party, bro. Because when it's time, we got a space of thousands of people right now. Y'all don't like to say nothing, but y'all like to hop in the mentions and the comments under all your Finster accounts. And we didn't caught you with 3 or 4 Finster accounts. So you need to get on up. All right. Wipe your bussy down and get on up and say something. All right. A lot of y'all Democratic shills are in here. That's why, there you go. Get on up here. Get your ass in this room. What's up, CJ?
Hey.
Yeah. Now, why do they have you trolling in our mentions, but you never bring up any of the policies?
What policies didn't I bring up?
None. What are the policies that your paymasters are supposed to give for Black people?
When you say what are they doing, what to give for Black people, I mean, you mean that can help Black people?
For Black people, not one of these catch-all programs. See, you're already doing the double talk. What kind of program specifically for foundational Black Americans?
So we can't support any programs that can help Black people disproportionately.
The hell you can't.
So
you do it for immigrants. They do it for immigrants. How come they can do it for immigrants?
So I have a question about that. So as far as
how come they can do it for immigrants, sir?
So when Trump was in office, people said, "Oh, the first step that helped Black people."
No. How come they can? No, because y'all like changing the subject. How come they can do it for immigrants and not us?
What did the federal government do for immigrants that they didn't do for the federal government? The federal government.
You're acting like they're not doing anything for immigrants now.
What are they doing only for immigrants, specifically for immigrants that nobody else can access?
Sir, the housing that they got for immigrants, we can't get access to that.
Which housing can't you get access to?
The housing that they're getting in places like Chicago and New York. You got a bunch of homeless people.
Is that the federal government, or is that something that a local government is? Because I mean, I wouldn't have anything to do with that. We aren't voting for that, but I'm asking: is there something that Biden Harris have specifically given that's just specifically for immigrants?
Dude, I'm telling you, all of these programs and policies that they're putting together. Because remember, y'all try to play this game. Well, it's the state and the city, but the president, vice president, they allocate federal funds to incentivize these cities. Don't play that game, brother. They allocate the funds to incentivize these cities and local areas to do these things, sir. They're doing it with federal dollars, not just state dollars, sir. You got to be very honest. See, y'all try to play the sleight of hand trick, sir.
So which ones did they specifically?
Sir, the immigrants are coming over here because of Biden and Kamala's plans and policies, getting housing. They're getting money for food. They get more access to medical treatment than we do, sir. We're not getting that stuff. Why are there so many homeless Black people and these immigrants are not homeless when they get over here?
So when they did the American Rescue Act, when they did the Inflation Reduction Act, they gave money to cities and states for homeless.
That's a lift-all plan, sir. That's for everybody.
But they didn't give. So you said that it's up to the cities and states to do whatever with the money. They didn't say specifically give this to immigrants.
Yeah, they are giving it to immigrants. That's what these programs are for. They're for immigrant programs. Like DACA, that's an immigrant program. We don't get black foundational Black Americans. We don't get access to DACA, and that's named after foundational Black Americans, the dream, Martin Luther King's dream. We don't get access to DACA. So what you talking about?
What's in DACA that you don't have access to?
Sir, none of it. We ain't got access to none of it.
So what is it? What's in DACA? What specifically is in DACA
Sir,
that Black people don't have access to?
we don't get none of these resources that's specifically for certain groups based on their status. We don't get none of it, sir, and you know that.
But
Hold
do
on,
you?
let me get Brother Marcel in here. Brother Marcel, hop on, because you babbling. Marcel, go ahead, sir.
First of all, the federal government has allocated billions of dollars as of last year. It's probably trillions now to local states, towns, and municipalities specifically to care for illegal immigrants. That's one, specifically for illegal immigrants. It's earmarked for illegal immigrants. You should know that. I'm sure you do. Number two, the first thing Biden did when he got in office was sign executive orders specifically to protect illegal immigrants who are not even Americans. Then he did it for Native Americans. Native Americans have gotten more funding on this administration than they've ever gotten in history. Then the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act, which was unanimously supported by Congress, and in the reason for the bill, this is a part of the bill, they specifically mention how they want to protect Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. And the Department of Justice set up a whole sub-department just to protect Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. So please don't come up here acting as if specificity is something this administration has not done. They only don't do it for Freeman. And I get tired of hearing about y'all talk about disproportionately benefiting Black Americans. What Lift All program has ever disproportionately benefited us? We only disproportionately are affected by things that's negative. We're disproportionately impacted by abortion that's pushed on us. We're disproportionately placed in schools that are trouble. We're disproportionately overrepresented in poverty and lack of wealth. We're disproportionately represented in peoples whose lands are taken by eminent domain. The only time we're disproportionately impacted by something is when it's negative. We never, ever benefited from anything disproportionately than we should have. Right now, I can go to a public hospital. We are disproportionately the ones who are going to receive malpractice, who are going to receive the worst care. Right now, I can enroll in I can take a child to a public school, and we're disproportionately the ones who are going to get the least amount of quality education. So please stop that disproportionately we will benefit thing. And also, as of April 2021, the Washington Post, which is a liberal newspaper, reported that the Biden-Harris administration was spending $69 million a week to care just for minors who were in the country illegally, while Black American freemen children are on the streets and suffering from poverty. So, CJ, at least try to be justice-minded and admit that freemen deserve better. And you talk about Donald Trump. Donald Trump was in office for 4 years. We've been disproportionately voting for the Democrats for 60 years. And Princess, I appreciate what you do for the movement, but Princess, for you to sit there and talk about civil rights, what benefits have those civil rights done us? I can tell you what they've done for other people. And I land there.
There you go, my man. Thank you so much, brother. DJ.
So you talking about so that executive order that you just said that was signed, he actually did sign an executive order that was specifically for Black Americans. The same ones that he did for Native Americans, there is an executive order that
What is it?
It specifically targets Black Americans, just the same one that you said was done for Native Americans and
What is
everybody
it?
else. There,
What
you can Google it, a Black Americans executive order. I shared it the other day.
Black Americans? No, what are you talking about? No Black Americans executive. What are you talking about?
There was an executive order. He did an executive order for several different groups in Black.
No, he didn't do no executive order for no Black people. You can't name it.
He did do. There was an executive order, the same ones that y'all are pointing out. He did one for Black Americans.
No, he didn't.
He
No,
did.
he didn't. Name it.
He did. It's an executive.
Let me see an executive order for Black Americans. For what?
But then, as far as Marcel, as far as you said that there was nothing that
Okay,
disproportionate.
no, hold on. We need to hear about this executive order you're talking about. This mysterious executive order for Black people. What's the order? What was it supposed to do? Because I didn't get none from it, and neither
What what
Black Americans. Did y'all get some from this executive order? I
what
haven't heard about it. Please,
what?
what's the name of it?
So what did the other? What did the what?
No,
What
no, 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 not what did the other my ass. Name this order. What's the name of it? You trying to Google something? It ain't there, brother. You don't sit your ass up.
it is there. You told me to put the link in for the. You said put the link in the jumbotron. I'm getting it.
Where is it? You trying to Google it and it don't exist. Where is it?
I'm not googling, and I have the link for it. I'm putting it in the comments.
I want to hear this. I want to see this. Some executive order for Black people. That don't damn exist.
It's in the comments now. Executive order on the White House initiative for on advancing educational equity, excellence, and economic opportunities for Black Americans, signed October 19th, 2021.
Okay, hold on. What's the name of that again?
It's called the Executive Order on White House Initiative on Advancing Educational Equity, Excellence, and Economic Opportunities for Black Americans.
Hold on. I'm looking that up now. That sounds like a damn nothing burger. What the hell does that mean? Okay, I'm looking at.
You said it's a
Okay,
nothing
okay.
burger, but he just mentioned
Okay.
executive.
Advancing educational equity, excellence, and economic opportunities for Black Americans. And then when you look at it, talking about it talks about Black students, and then when you read it, I'm looking at it now. It goes right into we're also talking about LGBT Black students who are also LGBT. This is a nothing burger. It's literally a nothing burger. It's nothing. They're not offering anything.
So
They're literally
it offers
offering anything.
So what did the other executive orders offer that this what
There's
we
no dollar sign in this thing at all. There's no money at all. Eh, ensuring that all Black students have access to excellent teachers. What the hell is that? That's a nothing burger. Yeah.
uh,
Supporting and improving data collection related to Black students. What the hell is that? That's a nothing burger.
so then
Addressing inequitable treatment of Black students, eradicating discriminatory referrals to special education. That's a nothing burger. It's nothing tangible. Literally, not one tangible thing in this executive order. It's a bunch of circular babble, sir. I remember this is a nothing burger.
so
When the executive orders for the Native Americans, it's about a dollar sign. Here's a certain amount of billions of dollars for you. With us, well, we gonna not talk about putting your kids in special ed. We're gonna get you a good teacher. We're gonna make sure that you don't get suspended like y'all been getting suspended. It's nothing burger, man. It's a bunch of intangible gibberish. Nothing tangible. And that's the problem, sir. Y'all come to us with these intangible things, acting like you're doing something, and we're just not falling for the banana in the tailpipe, brother. All right, CJ?
so as far as federally, so what dollars were federally in the COVID hate crime bill as far as that went directly into the pockets of eight?
Sir, those Asian communities got all types of resources thrown at them for the discrimination that they went through. There was all types of millions of dollars going to the Asian community all over this country. And then they got a hate crime bill. That COVID-19 hate crime thing, they kept denouncing anti-Asian hate crimes. They have never denounced anti-Black hate crimes. And they prioritize Asian people in protecting them. That's why you can't even argue with an Asian person. You'll get arrested on a federal level. Out there in New York, they were locking up Black people for getting into arguments and altercations with Asian people using that federal hate crime. And they will not do the same thing for us, knowing that we're getting targeted by white supremacists and we get hit with mass shootings by these people. We get hit with hate crimes left and right, and they don't do anything about it. They don't even treat them like hate crimes. So they got to go to the table and come through with the tangible, CJ. Go ahead and tell your bosses the benign neglect thing ain't going to work, okay?
So how is it that most of the hate crimes that are prosecuted in the country are white arrestees for anti-black hate crimes if the hate crime laws don't benefit us or then don't denounce us. And then also the bill that was named after a black man that was drugged behind a truck in Texas.
James Byrd, and then
Yes, James Byrd.
they
Yes.
tacked on Matthew Shepard to it to protect the LGBT community, the white LGBT community, sir. They always gotta use a black face to tack on somebody else. That law was really made for the white LGBT community. They needed to attach us to it because we were the ones who were seriously getting hit with hate crimes. Matthew Shepard, that situation wasn't even really a hate crime. He knew the dude and they had some kind of sexual relationship beforehand, but they had to tack a real hate crime with a black person onto it in order to legitimize it. And that's the thing. They use our pain and suffering so that people can climb over us and incentivize prioritizing other groups. So that's a problem.
So are you saying that no people that have committed hate crimes against black people have been prosecuted under that James Byrd Jr. hate crime?
Very few and not enough. And the thing is, in order for them to prosecute it, the people have to go damn near on a mass shooting. We got to get slaughtered for them to prosecute it. Whereas other groups, if you say the wrong thing to them, they throw that hate crime bill at your ass and protect them. We have to die in mass numbers in order for it to get enforced. And sometimes it doesn't even get enforced. So yes, that's a problem. We need to be named specifically, not tacked on to some other group. Like, for example, that making that anti-gay hate crime thing, you can't use anti-gay slurs on social media at all. On YouTube, on Twitter, you get flagged. On Twitter, you can use the N-word left and right and nothing happens. So that is a problem. So we have to be prioritized. So again, go down to your paymasters and let them know that these benign neglect policies is not going to work, CJ. All right?
It's been more than a few.
And also, CJ, listen, people are questioning your background because a lot of people, you say you're from North Carolina. A lot of folks don't believe that. We think that you might come from a non-FBA background, brother, that you're not being honest about. Where are your people from for real, bro?
They from North Carolina and Virginia.
Where are they from for real? What island did they come from?
They're from North Carolina and Virginia.
Brother, we've seen your hair, and that's not an FBA hairline, brother. That hairline got Jollof and Bammy crumbs on it, sir. You come from a different lineage, sir. You're just not being honest about it.
No, I'm telling the truth.
Okay,
But I do have a couple of questions about you.
Hold on, let me get my brother Marcel back on here. Brother Marcel, hop on. Let's get brother Marcel back. Go ahead, brother Marcel.
Whenever you have asked, whether it's Gabriel or whether it's CJ, you notice they ask you more questions than they answer. He has yet to answer anything about what's going to specifically be done for Freeman. All he's doing is proposing bad faith questions to you. Second of all, CJ, you just contradicted yourself. If you are going to sit here and say that most hate crimes persecuted are hate crimes that are done against Black Americans, freedmen, then that right there is even more grounds for us to get an anti-Black American freedmen hate crime bill. So we can't sit there on one hand and say that Democrats are persecuting hate crimes against Black Americans, and yet and yet at the same time ignore the fact that they're neglecting to give us an anti-hate crime bill specifically for those of our status. If we are constantly being targeted, then why are they not constantly providing us with protection? Number two, you know damn well you just lied and said that we have the same executive order done for us than for Native Americans. Native Americans have actually gotten cash that goes to their tribal governments, and that cash actually goes in the pocket of some of the people who are members of those tribes. And you know what a tribe is called, CJ? I know you may not know this one. It's called a status. We as foundational Black Americans have a status as well. We can also get cash allocated to us. The Democrats know how to do it, and the Republicans too, to be honest. But 90% of Black votes casted goes to the Democrats. So we're not going to sit here and let them get all the Black votes and then talk about they don't want to get the Black accountability. And when we bring it to them, they say go to the Republicans. And again, Princess, you said that we aren't involved. We are involved. 90% of the Black votes casted, and most of those are Black American votes, are going to the Democrats. That's all the involvement they need right there to get in office, and that's all the involvement that's sufficient.
Yes, indeed. Go ahead, CJ.
Marcel, what is it that you want? Oh, he's gone now. So, well, I'm gonna ask him, what is it that he wants in a black hate crime bill that's not currently listed in any of the current hate crime legislation?
I will tell you that what they have to do specifically denounce anti-black hate crimes and condemn it, just like they did with the Asian hate crime bill. They specifically condemned it. They said the U.S. government condemns any hate crime towards an Asian person, and that's big and that's significant because that sets a legal precedent. When they need to protect themselves, they can show that executive order. We need the exact same thing. When it comes to us, it gets very vague about what should be done and what's actually condemned about anti-black racism. So we need very specific language to us, just like they use very specific language in that COVID hate crime, because they used the word Asian several times in there, and they were very, very specific about it. But let me get on my brother Black Alpha in the building. Black Alpha. Black Alpha, where you at, brother? Black Alpha? Oh, okay. Black Alpha, I'll get him back in a minute. CJ, is that your pit bull in the back, bro?
So my question is, so you just basically essentially just want a letter that says that they denounce hate crime law. So you don't want any other additional criminal penalties or anything. So that's fine.
No. That's a given. Of course, we want that, but it has to be very specific. It has to be specific for us because that's the thing. It has to be specific, not no catch-all thing because they're specific for other groups. It should be specific for us and do the same thing they did with the Asians. Once you designate that a group needs a specific hate crime bill, then you start allocating resources to those communities in order for them to protect themselves, in order to create preventative measures so that they won't have hate crimes committed against those groups. So do the same thing you do with all of these other groups. That's what I'm saying. All right, CJ, let me get some other calls in here, man, but I appreciate you.
Thank you. Ask you just one question.
That's enough, CJ. All right. That's enough of the bad faith questions. You've asked enough. Thank you so much. You're asking a bunch of bad faith questions. Right. What they need in the hate crime, what you want, because you be up here lying. Now I don't respect that. They have a hate crime, the executive order for black people. It's called the Black Executive Order. No, it ain't. It's not. It's a nothing burger. All right. A little sassy thing. Harriet, what's happening?
Peace, power, and reparations. How you doing, Flex?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing good, family. I see you up here cooking.
Yes, sir.
I want to respect your space and answer the question of the space, and then I'm gonna get to what I wanted to talk about. Will political shaming tactics work in this election? Man, hell no.
Right.
Smoky voice.
Yeah.
America wasn't expecting American Freedmen Foundational Black Americans to be on this type of time. We stooped
Yeah.
in our lineage, stooped in our culture, and stooped in our education. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're not even teaching us this in our HBCUs. We on a different type of time right now. The Black American grassroots, we the authentic Divine Nine. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? Let me get into what I was talking about, what I want to talk about, family, and I hope that you support this.
Yeah.
It's this petition that I made. I put it in a purple pill. I don't want to put it in your jumbotron because I want to respect your space. It's a
Yeah.
petition to get a piece of legislation called the GI Bill Restoration Act. It
Okay.
will help Black American World War II soldiers get their GI Bill, and if they're deceased, it will go to their descendants. I put it in the purple pill, and I also put the legislators who are in charge of it. I put their phone numbers and everything in the purple pill. So if everybody in the space want to support this, it's in the purple pill. I'll be very thankful and thank you for everything that you're doing, Flex.
Man, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Let's get. Oh, I took Black Alpha out by mistake. Sorry about that, Black Alpha. Hop back up, Black Alpha. I made a mistake and took you out. I wanted to get you up next. So Black Alpha, hop back up. I had Black Alpha up here. I want to get him back up here. Let me see. How many folks we got? A lot of folks in here today, man. Shout out to everybody in here. Don't forget to go to rootworkstyle.com to get that Rootwork deodorant. You got to get that Rootwork deodorant at rootworkstyle.com. Speaking of big and musty, we got T.S. Giselle in here. T.S. Giselle, hop on in here. Let's see what you got to say real quick.
Got a little style, got a lot of Hermes on me. First
Yeah.
off, let me tell you something.
Yes.
It's over for the FBA. It's over. The
How
Democratic
so?
National Convention was top notch production, and it showed where our party stands and where our people stand. Black Americans are united in the Democratic Party, and there's nothing, no hateful, nasty, xenophobic, homophobic, transphobic, misogynist message that is pushed by you quote unquote reparationists or AKA closeted black Republicans can do. It demonstrated who we are as a people. I was so proud to be a Democrat, so proud to be a Black American. Black Americans are a loving people, and what we saw in Chicago demonstrated that. So you can continue to host these spaces, but at the end of the day, Black Americans will go to the ballot box and select the Kamala Harris for President of the United States. And another thing, let me check you, sir. You
Uh-oh.
will stop intentionally pronouncing her name wrong. Kerry Washington checked you about that. She checked the country. Because at this point, like she said, you're being disrespectful. You know her name is not Kamala, it's Kamala. So
How do
stop
I
it. And the
how do
fact
I
that you're black, and the
how do
fact that you are black and do that is a disgrace. And you even called her a
what hold
bedwit.
on. What's the best way to pronounce Hindu bedwench? Am I pronouncing that correctly? Hmm? Am I
Okay, so if that's
pronouncing
now
Hindu bedwench right?
the only bed wench is who you lay down with that
No.
white mama. Now,
No, no,
you
no.
want to go there, we can go there. Now,
Let's go there.
exactly. Now that's how you
Yeah.
clear. And
I
in
don't white people.
2,000 listeners, and I just cleared you.
Yo, Aunt Kamami lays up with a white zaddy. I don't. I lay up with melanin. All right. I lay up with melanin. And white
Now, now I
Hindu
didn't want to go
Hindu
there,
bedouin.
Tariq. I didn't want to
Listen,
go there, but you made me. I
I'm
didn't
gonna
want to
go
go
there too.
there.
I'm gonna go there too, and and that pussy is spread for white men too, over there on your end of the spectrum too. So let's.
Listen,
I
like
don't
I
want to go
told Sir
there. We can
Major
go.
and his cronies,
No, no,
the
no, no.
TS has been to 4 countries in 60 days. I don't care what
Yeah,
you say
see,
about me. I'm living my life.
see, that bussy got passport stamps all on it from White Daddy. White Daddy flew. You getting flued out for some bussy sex. Okay, but it's all right. I'm not knocking nobody's lifestyle. All right, but it's just very hypocritical. All right, all right, okay. You think you're the trans Olivia Pope, a nigga your Pope. That's who you are. You a nigga your Pope. You trying to be Kerry Washington, laying up with a white man, a nigga your Pope. All right. Let me get some more people in here. We're in here heavy today. And by the way, don't forget, man, we got an event at the Hidden History Museum. We got on September 14th. That's in a few weeks. If you're in LA, come on down to LA and enjoy yourself with us at the Hidden History Museum. Come down to LA. We're going to have complimentary food, complimentary drinks, great comics, great music, great vibes. I'm going to be out there with you chopping it up. It's going to be a great thing. I want to see y'all. Go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com to get your tickets to join me. Let's get what's the sister's name? Black MAGA woman. Let's get Black MAGA woman in here. Black MAGA woman in the building. Go ahead and unmute your microphone, ma'am.
Hey, Brother Tariq, thank you for letting me speak.
How are you, dear? You
Y'all
good?
can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you great. You're good.
Okay, cool. Peace to the chat. Oh, what's good, family? I just wanted to revisit real quickly what Dr. Scott was saying earlier about the platinum plan. And just make sure that I was hearing and understanding him correctly, right? So what I think he said is that he's currently in talks with Trump right now to expand the platinum plan to be not just for the Black community as Trump had originally proposed, but to try to extend the benefits of the platinum plan to so-called underserved communities to the tune of
Right,
$1 trillion.
right.
Um, yeah, and I thought that was very disingenuous and counterproductive on his part because it sounded very acting very much like a red flag to me, and I'll tell you why. Because as I said, the Platinum Plan was supposed to be specifically directed to the Black community. And so
Right.
when you use inclusive intersectional language like underserved communities and shit like that, that allows for illegal Latino and Asian immigrants and LGBTQ people and Arabs, Jews, Ukrainian so-called refugees, and whoever else thinks that they are oppressed or wants to ride on our ticket to benefit from the program that Donald Trump intended specifically for the Black community,
Right.
which could squeeze us out entirely and further marginalize and disenfranchise Black Americans. And I can't co-sign that nor abide by that when the plan was based on the premise of helping Black America. So if it's really just a pump fake that's going to be used to benefit other ethnic groups, I'm gonna have to get at Dr. Scott, send him a DM or something, and see where his head is really at. Because if he's advocating for anybody but us as Black Americans, no room with Trump representing us or speaking on our behalf.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, don't get it twisted. I'm a diehard Black MAGA Trump supporter, and I stand by that. I want us all to show up and show out and vote for Trump and destroy the evil fucking Democrat Party. But I don't like the way that Dr. Scott's wording was sounding about him being in talks with Trump to change the Platinum Plan from what it was originally intended to be, because Trump said that he intended it to be for Black people. And the way that Dr. Scott had phrased it, as if he was trying to get Trump to open it up to include, quote, underserved communities, was
Right.
real problematic for me.
Right.
Because these illegals are flooding into our communities. So are they now legally going to be considered as underserved when they get in thousands?
Yeah, and I have to land your plane because I got to get some more calls. But yes, we got to make sure that this is going to be lineage based, status based, and that's the rub. They got to figure out how they're going to word it and make everything status based so that it benefits us. And we understand they don't want to lose some of their far right base. Okay, there's ways that you can work around that. There's things you can do in order to keep that base and still us get what we're supposed to get. Let's get IO in here. IO, I can't understand your last name, brother. I can't pronounce it.
Hi,
There you go.
Tariq.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Tariq. I would say that it's a great honor to be on this platform. It's a great honor to
Yes.
be on this stage. And so, I'm from Nigeria, and I'm married to a Black American woman from Philly. And
Okay.
this is the conversation I've been having with my wife when it comes to the Black identity in the United States. Now, to myself as a Pan Africanist.
Okay.
However, there is common sense.
Well, what happened, brother? Okay. Something happened to his phone. I didn't take him down. Something happened to the brother's phone. You get back up. I wanted to hear what you had to say, brother. Something happened to the phone. I don't know if a Postmates order came through or something, but the brother, his phone, it just dropped. I don't know what happened. Let's get Life's a Beach.
Hey Tariq, what's going on?
Hey, dear, how are you?
Good. I'm happy to catch you live. Usually it's late and I'm knocked out.
Yes, yes, yes,
Anyway, I think what you're doing is amazing with inviting Trump and Kamala to conversate with you at
yes.
the museum. Here's a
Mhm.
question I have. How do you feel about international artists, hip hop artists, or just international artists in general, using the N word in their music? And the reason why I ask is because there's an FBA brother who moved to Africa. He's a producer. You actually know him. He grew up with R&B music. Now he's
Okay.
producing music in Africa, and he's letting the artists using the N words and whatever. I just
Hmm.
wanted to get your thoughts on that. Thanks.
Thank you, dear. My thing is, I'm not really tripping on that too much. I'm not tripping on it too much because again, they're trying to emulate our slang. They're trying to basically sound like us. They're trying to sound like foundational Black Americans. So, I'm used to people emulating a lot of our aesthetics and a lot of our slang. So I'm not really tripping on that too much. Um, Well, let me get a couple of more calls in here, even though we got a lot of people in here, man. And I thank everybody for tuning in. Y'all need to follow me on here if you're not following me. But again, I do have an open door invitation for Kamala Harris to come down, talk to me about policies. The invitation is still open. As you see, a lot of the Democratic shills, they send them in here. Let me talk to the big one. Let me talk to the big mama. Let me talk to her. The invitation is out there for Trump. I would like to talk to Trump. Sit down, talk to me. Let's flesh out some ideas on what can be done for the Black community to get the tangibles they need. And to their credit, many of Trump's people, as we saw Daryl Scott and others, they've been reaching out. They've actually been reaching out. So I will give Trump credit on that. Now, if Trump were to sit down with me first and Kamala Harris's people didn't, y'all know how that's going to look, right? How y'all think that's going to look? And again, I don't do gotchas. I don't do ambushes. I'm very respectful. If I were to sit down with Kamala, I would be extremely respectful. I don't do gotchas and none of that stuff. I don't do that. I would have her talk in her own words, just like if I were to sit down with Trump, it's not going to be that garbage they did at the NABJ. I think that was tacky and corny. I will let him say what he had to say and put whatever out on the table, and let's see what can be done to help Black people specifically, and make sure that it's not one of these catch-all programs that will ultimately undermine us at the end. Because that's my thing. That's the problem I have with these catch-all, lift-all programs. They ultimately undermine us at the end of the day. We end up getting the short end of the stick because the resources, when it's a catch-all program, it gets depleted by all of these other groups who did not have the same suffering and adversity that we suffered under in order to get the policy in the first place. Because I'm tired of these policies where we have to get the suffering and we have to get whooped down on, and when it's time to correct the action, other groups stand in line like, okay, me first, because they don't let us do that. We ain't getting none of that immigration money. And the CJ dude tried to lie. What money if they getting? What money if they getting that y'all ain't getting? What the hell you mean? We ain't getting none of that. And that's another thing. I hate when y'all send the Democratic ops in here to lie. What money? What program? Ain't no program for no damn immigrants. It ain't nothing. What the hell you mean? They got a blank check for them. Man, every time you open up a news app, they got 300 million here, 400 million here for housing, 500 million for food, 500 million for job training. Just a blank check for these people. Is it from Kamala though? Did she write the check? Just come on, man. Don't miss me with the semantics. You know that the federal government, they can withhold or allocate money on state and city levels. But they try to play these little games here, so we ain't playing that. All right, let me get one more call, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get Ayo back on here because he was talking and something happened to his phone. Let me get Ayo, and I can't pronounce your last name, brother, but go ahead. Go ahead, Ayo.
Sorry, I don't know what happened. I guess I got knocked out. But what I'm saying is that so the lady on Facebook was complaining about the worst form of racism that she's heard in the U.S. because she refused to they refused to serve her in a restaurant in Tampa, Florida, and my thing is this, okay? Now, according to this lady, the worst form of racism she's ever seen in her life is to be refused to be served in the restaurant. Now, imagine a lady like that, tomorrow becoming a full-fledged US citizen and running for office, and then she becomes categorized as a Black American without understanding the pain, without understanding what the actual Black Americans have done in that country to give her the privilege and the right for her to run for office in that country. So what the system does is that it takes people that cannot really understand, that do not really understand the pain, that cannot really understand, that cannot really identify with the struggle of Africans in that country, African Americans, if I can use the term, or foundational Black Americans in that country, to present them as, quote unquote, Black candidates and put them in office, like we see in the case of Obama. Now, I do not regard Obama as an African American, and I was one of the people that were opposed to Obama's presidency because I felt that if we're going to have in quote, a black American president, it should actually be, an actual black American or a foundational black American,
Right.
someone who can identify with the struggle of African Americans in that country that have fought for decades, that have suffered segregation, that have suffered Jim Crow, that fought the civil rights, for black people in that country to have a voice. Now,
Yes.
taking Obama and presenting Obama as this black person or this the first black American president and then using him to get the votes of black people, I think was unfair, and I think that it was a suppression of the black people in that country because are they telling us that there are no qualified actual black Americans, that are no qualified foundational black
Right.
Americans that can run for office? It's the same thing that they're doing with Kamala. You know,
Right.
my question is, why is it that people do not understand you, Tariq, and what you're trying to say? Like, what? Why don't people get it? That
That's a very good question. And here's the thing, brother. They do get it. They know what we're saying. They understand what we're saying. They have to play dumb in order to reframe the narrative because they understand we're saying, hey, we want to represent our lineage on our own and get people from our lineage to represent our lineage. What are you being divisive? Then they start playing dumb. So they know what the deal is. A lot of people try to play dumb because it's easier to play dumb. Um, other than to listen to what we're really talking about and take heed to it. But you're going to have to listen to what we're talking about and take heed to it because you got no other choice. Mohit,
Hey, how's it going, brother?
how you doing, brother? Where you
Doing
from?
doing all
Pakistan?
right. No, I'm Indian actually.
There you go. Okay. What's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, so one thing that I had on my mind, like especially like in regards to Kamala, like the way that they try to divide us and everything like that, like for example, like when she needs to appease to the black people, she'll like play on the fact that she's black, right? When
Yeah.
she needs to appease to the Indian community, she's gonna play on the fact that she's Indian. And she's just trying to go around get votes from both ends. But I think there should be promises that should be made, especially with the African American community, just because I feel like you guys have always got the short end of the stick, right?
Yeah.
In regards to the fact that you guys have been there from the starting of the United States, but some for whatever reason, like I feel like if you look at the status difference between the black and the white community, for example, is night and day, right? And they don't
Yeah.
do anything to address it, to fix that situation. As a matter of fact, they want to keep people divided, right? Because it
Yeah.
benefits to them and they can try and get your votes. So find out what sort of program or something that they're going to instill to try to narrow the gap at least. I'm sure you can't eliminate the gap overnight or over one presidency, but at least narrow the gap, which is going to give the African Americans uh, a chance to rise up again, right, and be financially stable. Just
Now let
one
me ask you this.
aspect
Let
of
me ask you
that.
this. Now let me ask you this. How does the Indian community, your community, feel about Kamala Harris? What's the support on your level?
So
In your
I think because the Indian community is especially into businesses, right? I feel like the taxation aspect of the fact that she's trying to increase taxes all around, and I could speak for the Indian community because I belong to that, and even coming here as immigrants, for example, right? We're doing all right, but we have a very strong system that's in place for us in the sense that like our community tries to support one another,
yeah.
which I've found like don't find it offensive, but I found that to always be a gap within the black community. I have black friends, and I find them
Well,
more divided.
yeah,
Depending on
let me touch on that. The reason why your community, they don't sabotage you and they don't go into your community deliberately trying to divide you.
yes,
Nor do they sabotage your businesses.
yes.
Our community, we got a bunch of agents, undercover ops that's sent in our community to keep up division and to undermine us.
So
So
I've done university and law and society and stuff. So I agree with you on that, right? There are planted agents that kind of like if you see like somebody who's doing really well, they try to do something to bring them down, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So that
Uh,
aspect of it, but I think what you guys got to figure out most importantly is how you guys can use your community for your strength. Like you have to unite together. You know what I mean? That's you guys have the numbers. And when it
And
comes
that's what we're
to
doing now. And what we're doing now, that's why we have a delineation movement, because we notice a lot of the people who are more quick to undermine us are people who don't even come from our lineage. It's people who come from a different lineage. So they're not going to have the same camaraderie. That's
for
why
sure.
us delineating, it has created more cohesion within foundational Black American society. And now we see a lot of people who've been undermining us. They're on the outs and they have a lot of aggression towards us because we're not letting them into certain circles of ours. And another thing I noticed, brother, I haven't seen really too many East Indians from your community support Kamala. I've not seen too many of them. Many
I'll,
of them are
I'll, I'll tell you,
supporters.
it's because of taxation, right? So
Yeah,
Kamala wants to increase taxation. They're they want to pay as little as possible, right? This whole idea of just increasing taxes, I don't think that sits too well with the Indian community. That much for sure, I can tell you. And Trump,
yeah.
I find, is still pro business in the states. So it like just Trump coming in, it helps support small businesses
That's interesting. 'Cause
versus I don't
every
think Kamala has any sort of stand when it comes to like how they're going to support small businesses.
Right. Because yeah, every East Indian that I know, they're Trump supporters. Almost every single one.
Yep.
I've yet to meet an East Indian person from your community who supports Kamala. That's very interesting. But thank you so much, Mohit. I
No
appreciate you.
worries, no worries.
See, family, ain't that interesting? They keep trying to shame Black people who's we're not from that woman's lineage at all. Foundational Black Americans, she ain't from our lineage. But they keep trying to shame us and make us damn near obligated, especially Black men. They try to make us like we're obligated to support her. And we're looking at each other like, how? But the East Indian community, where she has direct lineage, they ain't messing with her. They're not rocking with her and boldly saying it. And they are not getting any criticism from nobody. Nobody's criticizing them. Nobody's going to those East Indian men talking about, oh, you got to stand up for your Indian sister. No, no, no. Those East Indian men are like, yeah, she can kick rocks. MAGA all day. There's no shaming tactics or talk to the East Indian community at all. I've yet to see one East Indian woman come out and support her, except like that Mindy Kaling, whatever the chick from that actress. They're not really supporting her like that. But they think they're going to shame us into supporting her. And she ain't from our lineage, nor has she done a damn thing for us. And she's not only not done anything for us, she told us what she ain't going to do for us. That woman straight up and down came out and said what she ain't going to do specifically for the Black community. And we're supposed to be obligated to support that? Hell no. Hell no. All right. Shout out to everybody in here. Listen, family, we got an event happening at the Hidden History Museum in a couple of weeks. HiddenHistoryMuseum.com. HiddenHistoryMuseum.com. Get your tickets. Join me. Come on out here to LA and let's kick it. Go to HiddenHistoryMuseum.com. We got an event. Got great food, drinks, comics, networking, mingling. It's going to be a vibe. Go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com. Also get the book, Hidden Heroes from A to Z, at hiddenhistorymuseum.com. Get my book, Foundational Black American Race Beta. You want to learn about foundational Black American culture? Get that book. It's a very good book. You can get it at officialfba.com. officialfba.com. Get my book, Foundational Black American Race Beta. Phenomenal book. Get the movie Microphone Check at microphonecheck.com. And I'm up out of here, guys. Y'all have.
In the rhythm of life, there's a melody that dances with every step we take. And in those steps, there's a tale of legacy, of culture, and of the spirits that guide us. Introducing Root Work, where tradition and heritage intertwine. Crafted from the essence of foundational Black American Root Work deodorant is more than just a scent. It's a connection to the spirits of our ancestors, with 6 enchanting scents to choose from, each infused with the potent High John the Conqueror root, known for its healing and protective properties. Long-lasting and enchanting, Rootwork deodorant will keep you feeling fresh while embracing the spirit of Mojora, the very essence of Rootwork culture. Rootwork deodorant, where tradition and heritage intertwine. Experience the power at rootworkstyle.com. Let your spirit dance in the rhythm of Rootwork.